play a team with a new staff. You get to that first quarter and you start making adjustments. I thought offensively we came out the right way. Kind of changed our strategy a little bit as far as deferring. We wanted to take the football and go with it. Talked a lot about Brandon Peters, just kind of getting to the offense, and that's what we've seen from him. Under control, making good decisions. I thought he made great decisions out there today. Timely runs also. We're running football team. Our running backs all. Of course, Mike Epstein, it was good to get him back out there. Reggie Corbin, we spread the ball around. Whenever you can talk about running backs that way, offensive line has to do some good things, and they did. Tight ends, everybody everybody was involved. I think we started off 9 of 11 on third down conversions, and again, that's how you want to start it off. Offense has played good football for a long period of time. Defense needs to step up, and I thought they did. After the first drive, not pleased with the first drive, had a couple big plays in there. After that first series, took care of business, played the run well. Thought Jake Hansen was outstanding. We talked a lot about Milo Eifler and the type of football impact player he could be. That's about as good a hit as you'll see from a linebacker. Front played well, back end. Blake Hayes was his normal self. So, I mean, the things I'm going to talk about are all positive. We beat a team that, that last year started off the season real well. So, take your question.
Coach, last week you told me we're better. Is that what that looks like today? Is that kind of what?
I think so. I think if you've been watching us practice and training camp, and of course that's who we are. First game. So we all work to get to the first game and see exactly where we are. Good start. By saying that, the coach talk part of me though, there are so many opportunities we left on the field. Missed tackles, some of the penalties. We overthrew the guys a couple of times. We'll need to raise our level of play. It's a good starting spot.
How did the defensive coordinator do today?
I know the defensive staff had a great plan, and the players really executed it. But that's what we've been seeing in practice. We're healthy. We can play a lot better. But it's a new day. I'm going to stop talking about last year too. Now we have one game under our belt. This is what we're going to be judged by. We set the bar today. We need to go from here.
Coach, when you're scouring the grad transfer market this offseason, is this the sort of immediate impact you imagine from them coming into this season?
Absolutely. Two receivers, of course, quarterback. Richie Pettibone started. Wale started. All of them contributed. Sometimes it's good for people. Divorce is good. I make that statement a lot sometimes, and seemed like that's the case. We had an opportunity here, and every one of those young men you talk about, there's something special that we saw about them, and they filled that role as being a good teammate.
Lovie, what did your front show today on defense that translates moving forward?
Well, I think first, defensively, it's about, first off, just discipline of take care of your responsibility, being in your gap. We're a gap control defense. And once you stop the run, it gives you an opportunity to rush the passer. You talk about good defensive linemen, you say how many sacks do they have? What do they do rushing the passer? We got ourselves in a position by playing the run well for them to show what we have. We played a lot of guys. I don't know exactly how many we played. But going into the year, of course, that's our plan, to play as many people as possible.
Lovie, Irish Urbano came into this with one career start. See what he did today. What impressed you about him? What does it say kind of about your player development program?
Well, that has been the case. We have a profile for what we're looking for. He came in as a linebacker, put on good weight, kept that good speed, smart guy. But he should take steps. This was a good start for him. We're young at the position. He'll be able to take another step and do something.
On the other side of that, just what you see from Wale and his first start?
Solid play. He's you look at him, you assume he's a tough guy. He plays that way. His first, you talk about these graduate transfers. They all haven't played in a while. So it's good to see him out on the football field. That's what we've seen from our practices.
Your thoughts on the targeting pattern?
Official call it. We have a different target. That's not our target up here. So I assume it's good. They looked at it. Can't do that. It hurts your team. So that's not what, of course, not what we're teaching. We can't get in there. We're down now. We're down in that game, and that could hurt us. So we'll learn from that also. That's one of those first game mistakes that we'll clean up.
Well, was it the plan to keep Reggie's snaps, or did he get nicked up?
He got nicked up. Little hip pointer that he got. Took a shot. So we had a lot of running backs to play. So it was more of that. Same thing. He went, we carted him off with the knee injury. So we kind of see the extent of it.
Is it something we consider serious?
We carted him off, and we'll kind of let you know from there.
Wide receivers, just generally, how do you feel about their performance?
I'm going to say this about our team. I think everybody, tight ends, played well. I think every number that we called on, I'm talking position-wise, I thought they stepped up to the plate. We played a lot of receivers. Ricky, you can go. Really Dom Stanley, of course. Bebe coming in. Trayvon Sidney got reps. All the way down to smart younger players that got some good time to be in.
Daniel Barker had a good camp, and he followed up today with a touchdown pass. Just talk about what he's been doing for you guys.
I just think he's we've had a lot of great tight ends, like Josh Whitman, played here at the University of Illinois. And so to follow that trend a little bit, Daniel Barker he had an outstanding training camp. He can block, we can put him in line, and he can handle the defensive ends. And we can spread him out, and he can catch the football. His best football is ahead of him. He's a good football player.
How important is it to set the tone today? You set a bar, and when players have gone through seasons where it's been tougher, is it important when you're building and you feel like you've got it going that you set the tone?
I think absolutely it is. I mean, once you start saying you're a good football team, the bar is high. You play to that level each week. In order to do that, you can't have there's no preseason in college football. I mean, there's a non-conference schedule that starts the regular season, and you need to play your best football. That way, that hadn't been the case always for us here. Today, we did. We came out and played the way we've been practicing, and it's one game. We realize that it's one game, but you definitely would rather maybe making corrections based on a little bit better performance.
You've talked highly of Caleb Griffin and James McCourt won the job for today. What did McCourt show you, Bob, through camp?
On how all positions kind of work a little bit, consistency. I mean, you start training camp, and you start charting everything that everyone does, and you're evaluating them in a lot of different areas, under pressure, just total kicks. That's why we went with James. At the same time, it's one game. It's like everybody else. You kind of have a starting rotation, and for guys to stay in that position, they have to keep performing. Not a good start by us, but I thought we settled down and kicked better at the end.
Lovie, you said you guys are a running team, but this is the most balanced you've been in a while. Why is it? How much did the impact of Inventor Bebe and change what you do offensively?
Well, I need to get away from saying that, to be truthful, that we're a running football team. We want to be a balanced team, simple as that. But that balance needs to start with the run, and it was. But I think from what you saw today, we know that the passing game can be a lot better than it's been in the past. Starting with the QB, we have a lot of options to throw the football, and our line is blocking well. Some games, you have to lean on the pass a little bit more. Today, we will be able to keep that balance.
Justice Williams, that was a highlight for you today. I mean, he had his first career highlight.
Sure was. And Justice, he's already graduated. He does everything right. He's been that way since I got here on campus. So you want guys like that to have success. And everybody was excited for him. And we moved him. He's played, when I first got here, he was a linebacker. He started as a linebacker for us here. Of course, moving to receiver. For him to get some tight end reps like that, it was good to see.
How important was the first drive for Brandon? Just get him out there, move down the field. How important was that?
It's very important. I think our entire football team, how much sleep did you get last night? A lot. Probably more than most of us did. So there's a lot of anticipation. Brandon, yes. And so many others. So many of us had, thinking about the same thing. A lot of different things you can think on. course, that first game. For him, he's been doing an awful lot. So to go down there right away, boom, 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 get in the end zone. But that's how he is. I mean, he's not one of those guys. He's a confident guy. And what we're looking for at the quarterback position, you want a guy that's like that.
Coach, talk about the defensive line, the front four. What are your expectations for them? They seem to be swarming the quarterback this afternoon. They got the sacks. What's your expectation for the core of the front four and the defensive line?
Well, we can start with what you said. We want to swarm. We want to play hard. It always starts up there. Gap control. Stand in your gap, doing your job. Taking care of business on first and second down so you can get a chance to rush on third. When you get a chance, I mean, you talk good defensive line play, how many sacks do you have again? So it's just good to get those guys in that position. We played so many players. That's what we want to do. We want to substitute as often as we possibly can and get everybody involved. Today, a lot of guys were able to get involved.
Lovie Cooper got to play a little bit in the fourth quarter and 5 tackles. What stands out about him?
5 tackles, didn't see that. You know, Shimon, as we recruited him, you know, good football player, is going to be a good football player for us. But as a young player, you know, you go into the game, you don't know how much some of the young players are going to get an opportunity to play. So for him to do that, and go out there, you got to remember your first game. You'll remember this. He'll be making a lot more tackles for us in the future.
Coach, was there any discussion on the sideline about getting Isaiah Williams on the field?
I figured that question would come a little bit earlier. Yes, it was. Didn't feel like Isaiah eventually will play for us. I mean, today we just felt like we need to save him a little bit. We'll have a plan for Isaiah. We had a plan for him today. Didn't feel like we need to go into it today.
Anything else?
Thank you.